Welcome one, welcome all to the UKC. I'm your host Top Gear Tim, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the UKC. Season 1 is upon us, and I'm joined here by the commissioner of the Bar League. You guys already know who it is. It's Forces Panda. How you doing?
I am excited for the renewal and the return of the UKC. I got my team thing going on, but it's always good to see who's the best in the world at free-for-alls, and that's what the UKC will be deciding.
Absolutely. Before we get started, though, I want to give a special shout out to Spotless Owl for providing us some camera angles that would otherwise not be possible. So, appreciate you, Spotless, for giving us your POV of both the gameplay and just of your POV and the cameraman, I suppose. So, I appreciate you for doing that. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the first game. Alright, so in this first game we have F50, Invincible Sid, Plum Sauce, and Trail Line. Now, Panda, you've played in this game, so you obviously know what the outcome is and how this one ends up being. However, seeing that we have a 4-person game instead of a 6-person game, we had a dropout from Dundee and iBox. They just decided to take a DNF. Whenever you saw that there were 4 people in the game instead of 6, did that change anything for you? Any gameplay tactics or, any game plans going into the game once you realized you would only be playing a 4-person game?
Yeah, definitely. I saw Plum and I saw Trail Line, and I kind of know their play styles more or less from the previous lobbies that I've been playing against them. But I don't really know Sid, so I kind of just boiled it down to a 1v1 between him and tried to force that as much as possible throughout this 9-minute match.
Gotcha. We'll have to see how this one turns out. With that being said, here I am going to the spectator spot before the match starts at the 9-minute mark. Let's see how this one turns out. And we are off. We have Plum Sauce starting off with the crown here. I believe he was in a C5 Corvette. And he is making his UKC debut as well as his professional King debut. How do you?
What a way to start off a new season of the UKC with a new player, Plum Sauce, as I just come in for the snag at the early beginning stages of this match. But as you were saying, wonderful to have some newcomers in that are picking up the hand, I guess, immediately.
Absolutely, a newcomer indeed, but not a slow learner at all. He, he's only been playing King for a couple of weeks, and now he's, already performing at the biggest stage, so to speak here. So a quick rise up from him. Perhaps we'll see him, be competing for championships in, the later seasons and things like that. But of course, we're only in season 1, and we're still only in round 1. So hopefully we don't get too ahead of ourselves here. A minute down with 7 minutes left to go. We got F50 taking the lead here. We got Plum Sauce with a 44-second deduction at the end because he was the one that had to be passed the crown to. So with that being said, we'll see how this one goes. F50 with a minute and counting now. That is a clean minute. No deductions for F50 as he did not start off with the crown. Excuse me, or anything like that. And we have Plum Sauce following very closely behind in that C5. But the MR2, though, very nice and nimble, and a nice juke right there, taking full advantage of the car's capabilities there. And Sid, though, going for a nice early cut there. Also a very nimble car in the Prelude, I believe. Oh, but Plum Sauce with a nice cutoff there. Very nicely done as he looks to get some more time on the clock here. But F50 comes in just a little bit too quick for Plum Sauce. Although Trail Line and Plum Sauce get into a bit of a tussle there. Nonetheless, we got F50 running on the far side right here as he comes running across. Nobody really too close to him at this moment. Looks like it's got a lot of space to work with. Plum Sauce here putting up a good chase right now as F50 comes into the big building. Invincible Sid goes for a cutoff, but F50 turns around, and that right there will throw Invincible Sid off, and is that what we're seeing right here? The 1v1 tactic that you were playing with, or was that just pure coincidence there?
Yeah, that's definitely one of those where I see my options and I see option A being those two, then I see option B, which is still the question mark, even though I'm already 4 minutes or 3 minutes into the game. So yeah, definitely an example.
Perfect, and that is seemed to be working out for you quite well as you rack up 2.5 minutes already. Nobody else, Sid nor Trayline having touched the crown yet. It looks like Plum Sauce and F50. Again, only a four-player game, so it's definitely less intense when it comes to these types of matches. But as I say that, Sid does get a nice tag right there in his prelude, so he's going to look to rack up some time here, perhaps even take that first place away from Mr. F50 there. A nice turnaround there from Invincible Sid. He's going to look to try to get away, but F50 coming in and swiping it away. A very nice tag there as well. A nice break check on Trailline, who's also trying to get the first few seconds of the crown or of the game as well. And F50 with a nice cut out back outside the building there. And a lot of space to work with here. Was there anything in this game that surprised you or stood out to you? Obviously, as we can see here, it doesn't look like you're having that many 315 and counting right now. But
Well, not really a surprise, but I did notice how consistent Plum Sauce was for this just being his first league match, like we were touching up on earlier. He was there for his normal cutoffs. Again, it's normal Plum Sauce timing. It's nothing that is a downer from his regular
gotcha.
play.
So more props to Plum Sauce than anything else. And
Yeah.
as we can see right here, Invincible Sid still not giving up on the chase. There's still plenty of time left in the game, over 3 minutes left in the game, and Camilo going for the tag right there, not quite getting it. And Plum Sauce, there it is, going for the cutoff right there. And Trailline will actually take advantage of that, and he will get the first few seconds on the board. Oh, but loses it right away, unfortunately for him. And that, he's going to have to do something about that if he wants to be in the running for the top three. Although it is just round one, rather. So it doesn't really matter where you place here. You will still get a match in the next week. Although it will depend whether you go up the winner's bracket or loser's bracket. But nonetheless, that is 4.5 minutes for F50. And mathematically speaking, there's no time to take that away. No time left in the game to take that away from F50 there. So it will be a battle for second place, still currently held by Plum Sauce right now at the moment, even including the 44-second deduction. And we see Invincible Sid going for a cut right there. Ooh, unfortunately doesn't quite make it. F50 cuts into the building. Nobody else is there to stop him, and F50 is just going to keep running it. And that's a very safe move right there. Nobody's going for the cut, except for Camilo. Here he comes going in wide. Ooh, not quite there. But Invincible Sid, ooh, looks like he clipped that crate just a little bit. It didn't even look like he clipped it, even from the cameraman's perspective there. But nonetheless, a clip. But F50, ooh, putting himself in a bit of a tight scenario here. Sid looking to chase him and maybe take advantage of that. But ooh, the MR2. The MR2 is really quick.
Remember, I was trying to find Plum Sauce at this point because I didn't know where he was.
And there he is right there.
Yep.
Coming in out of nowhere and racking up some more time in his C5. Not the best handling car for A-Class, but definitely has the power to make up for it as he comes all the way around. Nobody really there to cut off except for F50 and Trailline, both going for the early cut there. Bit of a tussle. Will F50 get it? Ooh, just barely swipes the rear quarter panel of that C5. And that will be more time added to F50's run right here. And I mean, ladies and gentlemen, let's not sugarcoat anything here. This game has kind of walked away from everybody else, so to speak. Nearly 6 minutes on the board from F50 now, and nobody else really has it for a minute even. But nonetheless, they are still trying to chase the crown, as you know, their time still matters. And just as I say that, Camilo with a nice tag, he's going to look to get away right here in a tight scenario, but F50 gets it again. That is just unfortunate if you're Trailline right there. Ooh, a nice little diversion there. A double, or like a nice little turnaround. Keeping it tight, keeping it close. Very nicely done. I believe that is Plum Sauce on the chase right there. Ooh, not quite sure where he's going. I'm not sure if that was a juke right there.
Trail lines there.
Just a little bit too late. But Sid and Plum Sauce still on it.
Hesitation.
Absolutely. And, you know, whenever you're talking about a game like this, even the slightest hesitations, the slightest movements can cause some big differences in terms of how that play turns out.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all about the placements. I mean, first place may be out of reach, but you don't want to get that dreaded fourth, at least not for the first rounds if you're looking to go all the way winners bracket, winners finals, and advance that way.
Absolutely, and Sid looking to do exactly just that, staying out of that fourth place as he racks up some time on the board here, looking to gain some ground on Plum Sauce, who is technically still in second place, including the 44-second deduction. But here comes that 50. Wow, the gap that you close in on that was absolutely insane right there. That is a nice build on the MR2. It's got great acceleration. Doesn't have a crazy high top speed, but very nimble nonetheless. Short wheelbase, great turnaround. A very good choice there.
Yeah, it's got the throwback lean tune on it from your old Horizon 2 tunes back in the day. It's shown to have done at least some work in the UKC Game 1 at least.
Absolutely, absolutely. Showing what it can do at least here in A-Class. But nonetheless, that will be game, and the corrections are as follows. First place F50, 726, Plum Sauce with 41 seconds, Sid with 39 seconds, and Trailline with 11 seconds. Alright, jumping on to game number 2 in A-Class, or Lobby 2 I should say. We have Overdrift King, Speed, Autocycle, Spec R, and Spotless Owl. Now, looking at just this lineup right here, who do you think has the best advantage or the right tools to win this game right here?
Honestly, I don't want to stray too far away from the obvious choice. I'm looking at that Sierra in A-Class, and I remember Six God, King Alumni, using that a lot in friendly lobbies and succeeding with it, getting at least top 2 in most lobbies. So, seeing Spec in it, a top 4 player, that's going to be nasty for the rest of his opponents here.
Absolutely, and I think I'm going to have to agree with you there. I believe Spec definitely has the best tools in terms of car and player combination. But not trying to get ahead of myself, but Spotless though in that Miata, also a deadly combination as well. So we'll be looking to see how well he does in this game. We have Overdrift King living up to the name over there, drifting around the spot, so to speak. But we got about 10 seconds before the game starts. He was in his spot whenever the game started, so you know I let it slide. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Everybody is yes, everybody is in their spot, and we are off. We got Autocycle starting off with the crown here. Looks like a bit of hesitation there, and ooh, that may have costed him, especially when you have somebody like Spec in a league match who's not going to waste any time getting the crown right here, not at all. And ooh, but Speed with a nice cutoff right there in the Sentra. Bit of an unconventional choice, but nonetheless, Speed.
Yeah, he's the risk taker of this lobby and his playstyle and his car choices, and it's going to be interesting to see the risk taking playstyle of Speed versus the play it safe playstyle of Spec. And he's really accurate with what he's doing most of the time.
Absolutely, and when you have a car like the Sierra, which is very nimble, it's the perfect car for somebody like Spec to be able to pull off all the necessary jukes and close quarter movements that he likes to do. So that is a great choice from him. Got Spotless going for the ODK comes in the Volvo and put some time on the board, and he's going to look to gain some time on the board here. Ooh, Spec with a nice tag right there.
Spotless.
That was definitely a close one. I would say he got robbed even in that spot right there. But Spotless though still coming in with the power. Oh, not quite there. Spec just a little bit too nimble and too quick in that Sierra. Autocycle though going for the cutoff. Will he be successful right there? No, he does not get the crown.
Ooh.
And Spec still going to run it with that Sierra right now. 1:15 and counting, and that is a clean 1 minute as well, because he doesn't have any deductions to work with. Only deduction in here is Autocycle with a minute deduction, and he is, currently in fourth
Ooh,
place
take.
right now, as Speed comes in and takes the crown. Oh, but Autocycle coming in and making sure that he stays within the top 3 in this game, gets the crown right back. A nice getaway right there. Will he get away from Spotless? No, he will not.
Nice
and
angle.
Spotless, yes, a very nice angle indeed. He's going to look to put some time on the board as well. And Miata, a great choice, but wow. Did you see how quickly Spec caught up to Spotless in that Miata? And that Miata is no slouch.
It gives you no time to react. That damn Sierra is there, and it can keep up whatever input you're putting in too. So
Absolutely. But Speed, though, looking for a nice cutoff here. Will he get it? Oh, he does get it. It looks like a little bit of a hesitation there from Spec. That might have costed him there. And Speed looking to capitalize on that right there. Oh, tried to juke Spec right there, but couldn't quite do it. I would argue that if he did go outside right there, he probably would have, bought him some time, at least away from Spec. But that is only speculation, of course. Spotless going for the cutoff right there. Spec cuts back into the building. Not quite sure where Speed is. Okay, there he is, trying to get the cutoff there. Probably what I would have done too in that exact scenario. Spotless though, not letting Spec out of his sight, and but Spec in that, like I said, that Sierra is a nasty car.
yeah, I mean, Spotless is trying to be smart and pressuring him to hit the brakes, but other guys aren't there to capitalize, so Spec can just toy with a 1v1 situation. Oh, but not a 4v1 situation. And Spotless finally gets it.
Absolutely, taking full advantage of the play at hand, but Spec on it again, and that will just keep extending his lead. And if you're anybody in this lobby except for Spec, you're trying to make sure that Spec doesn't have it. And Spotless though doing a good job of cutting off that line from Spec. And it actually looks like he's going to create some space here. Not that many people around him right now, so that's going to buy him some time right there. Speed on the chase, kind of sends him wide, but Spec though still right behind him. Oh my goodness. Every time Spotless looks back, you can see how much Spec gains on him. And that is just incredible work right there. Oh my goodness. A nice getaway there from Spotless though. Spec though still on the chase. Speed goes for the cutoff, overshoots it a little bit. Autocycle comes in. Will he be able to use the power? He does. The power of that Holden, I should say. Again, a more power heavy car. That car, a bit more heavy, not as nimble, but definitely has the power to get out of situations, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. But Spotless using the handling capabilities of that Miata to his advantage, and he's going to get out of that tight scenario. Although look at Spec still chasing him. He's not going to let him go. And when you have somebody like Spec chasing you like that, it is very, very hard to get away, especially when you have a capable car like that Sierra. Oh, a nice take there from Autocycle. ODK looking to get a inside line here, and he does. And he's going to look to gain some time on the board as well. Oh, and Spec though just too quick. Absolutely, it's just so hard to evade. But Speed though, oh, I thought Speed was gonna tag him right there. Maybe he wanted a little bit of a hitbox tag or something. Not quite getting it to go. But Spec though, oh, and a nice cutoff from Speed. Absolutely, what an angle right there. I didn't quite see where he was at, to be honest, so he kind of really came out of nowhere there. Oh, gets himself into a tight scenario there. Unfortunately runs into the wall, and Spec, he will take full advantage of that. And just look at the gap he's able to create from there. Not really anybody in sight. Oh my goodness.
Even with that handicap, the thing just accelerates way too fast.
Absolutely, and if somebody does end up catching up to them, to Spec, he can hit the brakes or turn away at any time, because I don't think there's a car in this lobby, maybe apart from the Miata, that's that can match it in terms of how nimble it is. I believe the Miata is the closest in the lobby right here, but I don't think it's anywhere close to the Sierra, if I'm being completely honest right now.
Yeah.
Spec, though, still trying to extend the lead right here as he racks up nearly 4 minutes. Spotless, though, with a nice line there, forcing Spec to go the other way. A great move, and Speed will take full advantage of Spotless's work right there as he... Oh, I thought he was going to make an escape right there. Great timing from Spotless there. Bad timing for Speed, but oh my goodness. You just can't get away from Spec and that Sierra. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely crazy. 4 minutes on the board for Spec, and once again a clean 4 minutes. Mathematically speaking, there is no more time for anybody else to take the victory in this game. But nonetheless, you know, you still want to put on as much time on the board as possible, and there's still 2 minutes left in the game here. So it is still definitely possible for people to you know, move up from where they are currently. Although Spec, he's going to look like he's going to be a crown hog right here, not letting anybody have it at all. Although Spotless, oh, I thought he was going to tag him right there, but Spec just too elusive. He's going to keep running it on the outside. Autocycle trying to use the power to his advantage right here. Will he be able to get the cutoff right there? Oh, it looks like Spec just barely made it out. Will Spotless get it right here? Oh, a nice turnaround from Spec, but that actually gives Spotless a great run right here. Oh, no!
Unfortunate.
An unfortunate attempt there from Spotless trying to get the cut on Spec. But that will allow Spec to keep moving and extending his lead ever so slightly. Well, just more than ever so slightly. And Speed, I believe, on the chase right now. Ooh, Spec with a nice... Like, that angle right there is a very tough angle to pull off right there. Coming in that tight to that corner and then going the other way, that is not an easy maneuver. But whenever you have a car like that, it just works.
And a driver as well just makes it look so easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That
just
combination is deadly.
100%. And he's just going to run circles around him. 540 and counting right there. And wow, just one, you know, like I said again, the Miata is no slouch when it comes to handling, but whenever you're out-turning the Miata by that much, and you know, like, whether that's a testament to the driver or the car, it is still a deadly combination because both the car and the driver are working in great harmony right now, and that's what's showing right now. 6 minutes on the board as we round out to the last few seconds of the game.
Yep, and they gave it their best shot, but that's just not enough for the Sierra. Came out on top.
Absolutely, and with the corrections, we have Spec with 6 minutes 17 seconds, Spotless with 1 minute 14, Speed with 39 seconds, Autocycle with 14 seconds, and ODK with 13 seconds. Right, jumping into the first lobby of S1, we have Overdrift King, Speed, Spotless Owl, Invincible Sid, Misty Blues, and Spec R. And what a lineup we have here. This was actually the first lobby where all the players showed up, so we didn't have any substitutions or anyone that took the DNF, so to speak. So this was a pretty good lineup here. And looking, or you know, seeing the lineup, who do you think has the best tools in this game to win?
Yeah, it is a stacked lobby again, and yeah, I'm really tied between Musty and Spec. The only reason I'm gonna take Spec over Musty is that Spec had a previous game, so he's a little bit more warmed up in the UKC experiences, if you want to say that.
Absolutely, we did just see Spec put on an absolute masterclass in A-Class, and I'm sure he's going to look to do exactly that in this game. But Misty, though, in that Mosler, that's no slouch either. That is going to be a crazy combination as well. I mean, you know, two of the best cars right there in S1, arguably, driven by two of the best players in this lobby, arguably, of course. That being the KTM and the Mosler and Spec and Misty. But with that being said, we are off, and we have ODK starting off with the crown here in a bit of an unconventional choice right there, a Range Rover. Not sure what the thinking behind that was, but wow, what a juke right there. Getting past, who was that? Was that Sid he got past? Not quite sure, but that was a crazy juke right there. But Spec, again, will waste no time getting the crown right there, and he's going to look to put up some time on the board early as possible. ODK with the 1 minute deduction, that's what he's going to have to work with here. But Spec, though, just look at how nimble and quickly that thing moves from side to side. And a nice juke. Absolutely. Spotless, though, trying to force Spec to go the other way, but not quite getting it to go. But Misty coming in with the reads, and he's able to just take the crown as well. And now he's going to look to put up some time on the board. That Mosler, once again, a crazy car for S1. And whenever you have a driver like Misty who knows exactly how to utilize every ounce of performance in a car like that, that is definitely something to watch out for. Misty with a nice getaway from Spotless right there. Spec goes for the cutoff. Is a little bit too late there, but Misty, he's just going to be able to create some space right there. Spotless going for the cutoff, but a little bit too late. He's going to... Speed with a nice cutoff. Looks like Speed has been... that's been very successful for him, that cutoff, both in the previous game and it looks like in this game it's going to work out fairly well for him as well in his NSX right there. ODK going for the cutoff there in the Range Rover, not quite getting it to go, but Speed looks like he's got a lot of space right now, and he's going to just keep running it. Spotless, though, going for the cutoff right here. Will he be able to get the crown? He sees him. He gets the crown, puts up time on the board here, and he's going to look to try to get away from the traffic jam that is all the other players in the lobby. And and a nice getaway.
Oh, nice.
Very nicely done from Spotless, but Spec is not going to fall for anything twice, and he gets the crown right there, and he's going to make his way out of that traffic jam as well. But I believe that is Misty on the chase. Yes, Misty and Spotless both on the chase right now. Speed, though, going for the cutoff again, and he will get that to go. That's a very nice cutoff there from Speed right there, able to get the crown. But not quite able to get away from Spotless, though, as he gets the crown once more. He sees a few people going for the cutoff. Will that change his game plan? No, they are a bit too far off. Speed, though, look at Speed with the early cut there. Oh my goodness, almost gets it to go once again. But seeing Speed having to slow down, that will allow Misty to take the crown right there. And Misty, if you're somebody, if you have Misty chasing you, you do not want to make any mistakes, because he will capitalize on any small mistake that you make whenever he is chasing you. So that is definitely not something you want to do there. Getting the first few seconds on the board as well. A nice juke on Spec right there. He's going to have to turn in the other way, though, and Spec is there to intercept him. And he's going to put up a minute on the board right there. ODK, though, coming in, trying to get the crown, and that might not be the best choice, trying to chase a KTM around a pole in a Range Rover, but nonetheless. Oh, I thought Spotless was going to have it right there, just a little bit wide right now. Not quite there. Unfortunate hit into Sid right there. Spec's going to go around the outside, though, of that building. Spotless trying to take full advantage of that. And look at that line from Misty, trying to cut off every possible millimeter from... Oh my goodness, look at the gate. Look at the ground he's gaining on him. But the brakes are so good on the KTM that allows Spec to escape just narrowly. And now he's got a lot of space to work with.
They're like 1A, 1B, and it's just what a battle they're putting in with these two cars. We're gonna see a lot of more battles with the Mosler and the KTM for sure, especially after this season's up.
Absolutely, and wow, what a nice getaway there from Spec, trying to throw Misty off, but Misty's not giving up at all, and Spotless is looking to get the cutoff right here. Will he get it? Yes, he does. Very nice line there from Spotless. He's going to try to put up some time on the board as well, as he gets the crown right there. Nice getaway from Speed. Brake check. Spec tries to get away from Misty, but Spec, though, still in position to swipe the crown, but Sid coming in out of nowhere, and that is a signature car for Sid, that Ascari, and that blue paint job. That is signature to Sid right there, a car that we like him, or that he likes to use very much when it comes to S1, and it does seem like he needs some time to find his groove, so to speak, but I believe he's definitely doing better than the previous game where it was only 4 players.
Yeah, it definitely is. And another take by Spotless. This is like probably the most stacked lobby
So
of
far, I would say, yeah.
UKC
So
so
far, I
far.
would say yes. I would say this is easily the most stacked lobby. We have the likes of Misty and Spec, both top 5 players currently, and we have people like Spotless, who's very smart with the decision making. We got Speed, who is very sporadic and able to, pull things out of nowhere, so it seems, and ODK, a veteran in the game, and Sid, he's not no newcomer, so definitely a stacked lobby for sure. And Spotless though, looking to take that 1 minute. Oh, it looked like he got hitbox there for a second. Didn't think he actually got contact on that one, but doesn't matter as Speed comes in out of nowhere, gets the crown in this NSX. He's going to look to get away right there. Spotless still on the chase. A nice juke on Spotless. Ooh, gets past almost the entire lobby, and Sid, it looks like he's finding his groove now. We're seeing a lot more takes from Sid as of late here.
Yeah.
As he runs with the crown here. Specto still chasing him. Oh my goodness, look at the ground. Oh my goodness, did you see the gap that just kept getting smaller and smaller by the second? That must be a...
It's like Sid was just putting a driving line down for Spec, and he was just following it perfectly.
Absolutely, and that pays off for Spec as he gets the crown. 3 minutes and counting for him. And the second place, he's got 2 minutes over second place, who is currently held by Misty right now. Oh, but he's going to try to reduce that lead by taking the crown here. He definitely has time, but not that much buffer. If he miraculously keeps it for the rest of the game without getting it taken from him, that will be a victory for him. But somebody like Misty is definitely able to do so, but Spec is not going to allow that to happen so easily as he gets the crown, and he's going to look to extend that lead, so on and so forth. And Misty though, a nice recovery there, going for the cut immediately as he knows he can't make the turn, and that is some quick thinking from Misty right there. Very nicely done. But ODK though coming in, putting in work in the Range Rover, but Sid will outhandle that Range Rover, taking full advantage of that right there. And wow, what a cutoff! I thought Sid was clear.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I thought Sid was in the clear right there, but unfortunately for Sid, not the case. And Spec though, 340 and counting for him as he runs with the crown. Misty going for the cutoff there, a little bit too early. ODK tries to shoot for the tag, but not quite there, and that's gonna allow Spec some more time right here. But Speed though on the chase, as well as Spotless, I believe, still chasing Spec right now. And this looks like a victory for Spec right here, but in terms of second place, Spotless can still take that away from Misty right here. Oh, a bit of hesitation there. I feel like he could have kept going the other way and probably created some space right there, but Speed though, not gonna let that.
Speed himself,
and that's going to stop Spotless from taking second place. But an unfortunate mistake from Misty right there. And that will be another take from Spec. Ooh, it looks like he ran into that. He will stop. And that's going to allow Sid to take the crown. He's going to look to pass up Speed right there in the last 10 seconds of the game.
At the last
oh my goodness. Speed was right there to cut him off. Able to stop Sid from passing him. And wow, what a great save from Speed right there. And with the corrections, we have Spec with 4 minutes 11 seconds. Misty with a minute 33. Spotless a minute 4. Speed with 58 seconds, and Sid with 54 seconds, and ODK with 17 seconds. Before jumping into our fourth game, we are currently technically at halftime here. So this video is brought to you by Hoth Creations. They are a crocheting page on Instagram. I will put the link in the description below. First thing in the description, anything you need when it comes to crocheting, earrings, scrunchies, dresses, crop tops, anything like that, go ahead and make sure to hit up that page, Hoth Creations. And thank you for sponsoring the UKC. Alright, jumping into the second S1 game of the evening here, we got Kanga Dundee, F50, Autocycle, and Plum. Cursed with these 4-person matches here, but with Dundee in the mix this time. Again, I don't want to sound like a here, but finding out that there's a 4-person game instead of a 6-person game, did that change anything for you here?
The first game it did. This game was more just copy and pasting the same strategy I had with Invincible Sid. This time I'm doing it against Dundee because I consider him the best of the competitors in this match. So just try to limit the match between me and Dundee.
Absolutely, and here you are in your patented F50. Dundee was in a McLaren, Plum Sauce in a Huracan, and Autocycle in a GT1. Who do you think has the best chance of winning here in this match with this lineup of cars?
Well, I'm always going to bet on me, to be biased.
Of course.
I am always going to go with me in a match, but if I had to go with a second, I would go Dundee just because he is the #1 player in the world by a lot of people's rankings. So yeah.
We'll have to see how that turns out as we have the game starting in a few seconds here, and we are off. And Panda, you actually start off with corner, and ooh, a nice little bit of a diversion there, making the players come to you. Very nice move. You do have to work with a 45-second deduction right there. Plum Sauce going for an early cut there, not quite there. Autocycle looking to get a cutoff as well, but a nice turnaround once again. But Plum Sauce is there to intercept, doesn't quite get it though. But here comes Dundee looking to get a cutoff right here. A little bit too late. Oh, but Autocycle with the nice take right there. Was there anything that bothered you, or not bothered you necessarily, but that worried you in this game, such as trying to keep it away from Dundee, seeing as that was your biggest threat in this game? You know, was there anything like that going on?
Well, actually, I was most confident with my game plan against Dundee, actually, because that's what I was focusing more on coming into it. But I then also thought about how Plum Sauce was cutting me off in that previous game, and also how Autocycle was also good at cutoffs. So playing against two guys that are just great at cutoffs and Dundee, that's something I had to kind of adjust to mid-game.
Gotcha. And that is exactly what we're seeing right here with Dundee having 30 seconds on the board and F50 chasing right now, trying to chase down Dundee and hopefully retain that lead as well. Considering the 45-second deduction there, it looks like Dundee is technically in the lead right now. Autocycle going for that patented cutoff. Once again, as mentioned earlier, Autocycle great with the cutoffs. And Dundee, though, great with the lines. He's going to keep running it right there. He's going to rack up for almost a minute. Will he get to a minute? He does. Attempts to juke on Plum Sauce and F50, but neither of them fall for it, and F50 takes full advantage. Look at the momentum he's carrying right there as he tags Dundee. A very nice line right there, but Plum Sauce also carrying some speed as well. He looks like he's closing in. Ooh, doesn't quite get it though. No, he doesn't quite get it. And F50 with a nice turnaround there. Autocycle though going for that once again. Patented cutoff right there, and a nice turnaround there once again. Dundee
got the handling.
Absolutely, and Dundee also trying to get the best of it. Oh, doesn't quite make it there. And Autocycle looking to get the crown. A nice brake check there. Plum Sauce unfortunately runs into Autocycle. A nice brake check on Dundee as well. And you know, if you're playing against Dundee, this is exactly what you have to do. Try to get as much time as possible on the board, because a player like Dundee, he is a momentum player, a person who gets better with as momentum, you know, builds up for him. So definitely don't want to make it easy for that to happen. But Autocycle will pick up the pieces here as he racks up for 30 seconds, and he's going to look to extend the time as well. Nobody there to cut him off. He's got a lot of space right now. But F50 though, trying to make a stop. Ooh, a nice getaway from Autocycle there. Very nicely done, and he's going to keep running it with nobody really there to cut him off. He looks like he's a bit cautious around that corner though. F50 with a nice line there. Will he be able to cut him off? Ooh, a little bit too early there. Autocycle will go in. A nice little in and out there from Autocycle as Dundee still on the chase. Oh, but F50 like a bullet coming out of nowhere, absolutely swiping the crown away from Autocycle, and that will allow him to take the lead away from Dundee right now. And you know, these two cars are a great matchup, as well as the players. You know, or I should say, in addition to the players being a great matchup here. You know, all the way back to Horizon 3, I believe. And you know, another clash of players again, I suppose, in this one, and with fairly even cars as well, with the F50 and the McLaren right here. So a great matchup, and the results are showing that exact thing right now. Only within about 30 seconds in the top three. Plum Sauce though trailing a little bit behind, but definitely has time to catch up for it, for the deficit there. Definitely not out of the running just yet, but he does have to start doing something and taking the crown here if he wants in that top three conversation. But Dundee will swipe the crown, and he's going to look to move up into second place as well, and he's going to try to extend as much time as possible. F50 and Autocycle.
Yeah, like you said earlier, with Dundee, it's a game of runs, and he's one of the best players at just taking the crown and going on a huge run, a 2 to 4 minute run. It's just gone in a blink of an eye when you're going to get to him.
Absolutely. And he is doing a great job of trying to neutralize the opponents there, but Autocycle will come in and take the crown. That GT1 though, a great choice in S1, if I might add right there. Great at handling, not too slow in terms of straight line either. Just an overall great choice. But Dundee though coming in that McLaren, stopping Plum Sauce from getting any more time. But if you're Plum Sauce, you have to get that right back, because that's a lot of time you have to work for. It may only be 2 minutes or so, but it's very rare that you get a 2-minute run. So, you know, time is running out for Plum Sauce if he wants to be in that conversation right there. But Dundee, he's going to look to up as well. He's actually technically in first place if we consider the deduction right there. F50 though trying to make a stop to that, doesn't quite get it, but Autocycle comes in out of nowhere seemingly. A minute 30 and counting for him. And this is a very close match in the top three right now. Autocycle trying to divert Dundee. Oh, Dundee didn't fall for it, but unfortunately hits the crate there. So that will work out in Autocycle's favor as he loops back around the building there. Oh, nice close cut right there around the building. Will F50 get the crown right there? No, not quite, but Dundee will, and that's exactly what we're talking about. If you make any mistakes with somebody like Dundee chasing you as well, you know, they are going to fully capitalize on that opportunity. And that's exactly what we're doing here, or what we're seeing here. And Autocycle went for a cut there. Unfortunate for him, runs straight into the barrier right there. But F50 still on the chase right there. A nice juke there from Dundee. But that allows F50 to recover and take a detour. Will he be able to get the cutoff there? Not quite. I believe Plum Sauce went in for a cutoff as well. Or that was Autocycle, sorry. But Plum Sauce is on the chase. Will he get it right here? Not quite. Autocycle also coming in for the tag. A little bit too late. And Dundee is just going to keep running with the car. Nice brake check there on Plum Sauce. I thought Plum Sauce was going to outpower him right there in that Huracan. No arrow on that Huracan, definitely has the speed advantage, especially with the 30% power cut with the crown. But nonetheless, Dundee, world-class player, he's able to get out of any scenario. And there, right, Autocycle goes for the cutoff, and he gets it. And that right there is a prime example of absolutely signature. A prime example of Autocycle's signature move, the cutoff. But F50 though coming in and swiping just the rear quarter panels, it seems like, on Autocycle, and that's going to allow F50 to move up in the leaderboard as well, trying to or give him the opportunity to take that first place currently held by Dundee at the moment. A nice little stoppage there, wasting some time, but Autocycle coming in and taking full advantage right there. As you have confirmed, you did not see Autocycle coming up behind there. Autocycle trying to make as much out of this run as possible. Gets a little slidey right there. Gets past Dundee. Turns around. Plum Sauce will look for the cutoff right here. Not quite there. F50 will look for the cutoff as well, but Autocycle using the handling to his advantage. Goes on the outside. Dundee here goes for the cutoff, but doesn't quite get it. And F50 with a nice line and a great follow on Autocycle to be able to get the crown right there. And there is just enough time, not quite enough time to take first place if we're considering the 45-second deduction right there. But it will, you know, it's still enough time to keep the gap close. And Plum Sauce though, looking to get the the last few seconds of the game on the board here. Will he be able to do it? Gets around the corner there. Dundee is closing in, and so is Autocycle. Unfortunate crash there from Plum Sauce.
Yeah.
As we round out the last 20 seconds of the game right there. Ooh, a nice last second take from F50 there. But that will not make a difference. But with that being said, the corrections read Dundee with 3 minutes 21 seconds, F50 with 2 minutes 38 seconds, Autocycle with 2:29, and Plum Sauce with 29 seconds. Alright, jumping into the first game, the first S2 game of the evening. We got Speed, myself, Autocycle, Invincible Sid, Plum Sauce, and Dundee. And this one, once again, an S2 game. Just looking at the lineup here, yeah, same question again. Who do you think has the best tools to come out with a victory here in this game?
Well, for I think the first time, I'm gonna go with two different guesses here. I'm gonna go with a safe bet and say you, Top Gear Tim, and the Brabham, a card you're very comfortable in. And we've always talked about those card or player combos. That's one of the top two in this lineup, I feel like. And my wild card guess is gonna be Speed. CCGT has a card that can get a first place in any lobby, and Speed's a player that can just be sporadic with his placings and can come out with that first place in this one.
That is interesting. As to me, I would have thought that Dundee would have the best car and player combination right here. But seeing as that, you know, he's not in the running, so to speak, of your picks is interesting. But we'll have to see how this turns out here. As looks like there were some troubles getting into the spectator spot for both you and Spotless. Spotless gets teleported somewhere, I don't even know, into the Shadow Realm or something like that. But nonetheless, here we go. Starting off, we have Plum Sauce starting off with the crown, so he will get the 1 minute deduction, and Invincible Sid will get a 30-second deduction, and we'll see how that plays into the into play here. We couldn't quite get Spotless's POV on this one for the first few minutes of the game, so it will just be player POV right there. As I get the crown from Plum Sauce right there. I'm trying to get away from Speed right there. I completely forget about Plum Sauce, and he will take full advantage of that, and he's going to get the crown once again. 25 seconds and counting for Plum Sauce, and Dundee with a nice tag right there. And he's going to look to put up some time on the board. An AMR, a Vulcan AMR Pro, a great choice right there. Autocycle, so close, coming in with the attempt there. Choice. All of these cars are pretty great choices. Although I do have to say, a bit questionable is Plum Sauce's choice in the NASCAR. I mean, you know, first time, you know, first showing in a professional league, sure, but you know, that is a bit questionable, wouldn't you say, or?
I cut it some slack just because it's still Nuka, man.
Yeah,
I still use whatever the hell I wanted when I was first starting out too.
Absolutely, but nonetheless, you know, it is still only his first time, like you said. So, you know, and he's actually in third place right now, considering the deductions and stuff like that. So he, you know,
yeah,
of course, early in the game, but he's not doing too terribly, of course. But Dundee will make sure his name is up there in the conversation as well, as he goes around the building there, or around the crate, and I get a tag off of Dundee right there. Absolutely trying to extend this, and there it is once again. Autocycle with the signature cutoff. He's just so good with those. He always hits those. Not quite sure how he does it, but it is almost impossible to get away from, it seems. But Dundee with a nice cutoff right there. A great read on Autocycle. And this was one of those games where I did have to try to neutralize Dundee here, or at least that was my biggest threat in this match that I saw. And I believe that kind of got the kind of threw me off more than anything. Worried too much about one player more than, you know, the entire game as a whole. But nonetheless, I am trying to get a read on Dundee here. I'm trying to match the inputs, but Plum Sauce unfortunately comes in for the cutoff. But nonetheless, Dundee with a nice run right now, a minute 25 and counting, and this is a clean minute 25 as well, no deductions right now. And I'm still on the chase, trying to make sure I don't make any mistakes right there. And a nice juke there from Dundee. I keep thinking he's going to come this way or keep going forward, but Dundee very smart there with the turnaround, and Auto Cycle will take full advantage of that, and he's going to look to put up some time on the board as well. And nice juke there on Sid. Ooh, Dundee almost gets it, but it's actually Plum Sauce in the NASCAR putting in some time on the board as well.
Got it again.
Absolutely. Will he be able to make it out of there? Oh, Auto Cycle though.
Oh.
That looked like that rear wing, that big ass wing on that CLK just slightly snagged the crown right there, and that might that might help. Cut off there, not quite there, and Sid though will get the first few seconds officially of the game here, as he has a 30-second timer or deduction to work with right now. So he's going to, oh my goodness, what a line from Dundee right there. Did you see how close he cut that to the building? Bit of a risky move, but whenever you know you can make it, might not be that big of a risk. And that is just...
That's player confidence right there. That's just... Confidence is another attribute that goes overlooked a lot of the time. Just knowing when you can hit a move and knowing when your car can hit a move.
Absolutely, and that's a prime example of that right there. And Sid, I mean, let's face it, that's a Brabham that Dundee was out-turning right there. And, you know, very impressive driving from Dundee there, as I unfortunately hit the barn right there, trying to get a chase on Dundee. But, of course, Dundee perfecting every line. There's almost no way to do it better than him than just hoping that Dundee messes up. And Auto Cycle though, with a nice cutoff there, once again a very signature move, and he's going to look to move up as well, move up the leaderboard as well. Currently taking second place right now, but Sid though coming in and makes a stop to that run. He's going to try to put up some time on the board as well. A nice brake check there from Sid. Couldn't quite get it there, but Dundee will get there, and he will get the crown and just extend the lead. And less than 4 minutes in the game, and just like that, I mean, I'm not sure if this is some illusion or something like that, but, you know, Dundee, he didn't even seem like he had the crown for that long, but he is far in the lead here with second place only having it for 49 seconds currently with all the deductions and stuff like that. Dundee almost has it for 3 minutes, and, you know, I'm not sure if that's an illusion or maybe that's just even me, but you know, he does seem to seemingly rack up the time out of nowhere, so to speak. And just like that, Dundee gets it again. Almost 3 minutes now for Dundee. Speed goes for a cut right there, couldn't quite get there. It looks like I'm the only one on the chase. Auto Cycle creeping in right there, and I do take advantage of that. Looked like Dundee saw both and couldn't decide which way to go. But it doesn't matter. Sid comes in with a tag right there, and he's going to look to run it. Ooh, couldn't quite get away there as I come in and take the crown in the Brabham once again. That was a bit of a desperation juke there on Dundee. I really wanted to go that other way, but I saw him, so I just had to go the opposite way right there. And Speed will take full advantage of that, putting up the first few seconds of the board on this one. Mathematically speaking, doesn't quite have the time to take the victory here, but still definitely enough time to move up out of last place right here.
Yeah, he's trying to do that right now with the CCGT. If you can just get a right angle and just pick up some speed in that, you can definitely rack up some time, even though you're right on him.
Absolutely. That was a nice getaway from Speed there. I thought I was going to tag him, but he just jukes away at the last second. And Sid, though, coming in, taking full advantage of that. Gets past Plum Sauce, but not Dundee. And Dundee's just so calculated with his moves. You know, he's not flashy. He doesn't do all sorts of crazy moves or anything like that. But every line is just well thought out, and it just works for him. And that right there is a perfect example. Just gets away from everybody.
Yeah.
Perfect braking, perfect timing right there. Auto Cycle, though, not going to fall for it twice. Gets the crown again. Looking to put up some more time on the board there. Ooh, a nice getaway from... Wow, a close one.
Almost had it.
A very close one. Almost had it indeed. Auto Cycle still trying... Oh, wow, another close getaway from Auto Cycle as well. Plum Sauce still looking for a cutoff, and oh my goodness, what a line from Plum Sauce in the NASCAR. Definitely the underdog in this one, as he racks the... or unfortunately loses it there, but tried to rack up some more time on the board. And that right there, not quite sure what I was trying to do there. Bit of a panic situation. Unfortunately lost it to Sid there. If you are, well... Auto Cycle, if you're Dundee,
And Sid, though, doing a great job of running away right there. But what a line. That, once again.
Yeah.
Once again.
Out-driven.
Absolutely. 3 minutes and 30 and counting for Dundee as we rack up to the last 45 seconds of the game. Sid goes for the cutoff there. I go for the cutoff a little bit too early there. That puts me in a good position. Oh, and a takeout from Plum Sauce there. I did not expect that. I do not remember seeing that in the game. That one did catch me off guard just now then. But Autocycle, though, he's going to look to put up some time on the board as well. A minute 20 and counting for him. A nice move right there. Speed is following right there. Oh my goodness, how did he not tag him right there? That was super close. Speed, though, not gonna quite get the timing that he wants. Oh, Dundee with a close one. But unfortunately clips the inside of that, and that will do it for the first game in S1 with including the corrections. We have Dundee 3 minutes 49 seconds, Autocycle a minute 40, myself with a minute and 7, Sid with a minute 6, Plum Sauce with 43 seconds, and Speed with 33 seconds. Alright, here we are in the final match of the evening, the second game of S2. We got iBox, Blue Spec, and over Drift King. Now, as expected from, some of the best players in the world, we see some bats of blades. We didn't see any of them in the previous game, but in this game, we do. So, who do you think has the best chances of winning in this game?
Well, honestly, I went into this one giving the game to one of the blades as far as my predictions or just guess for who's getting first. And my aim was for getting second and at least staying out of the fourth place to head into winners.
Gotcha. We will have to see how that works out here. We got Misty and Spec both starting with the crown here, and Misty will get a 30-second deduction, and Spec will get a 1 minute deduction from the final time here. And we have 20 seconds before the game officially starts at the 9-minute mark. Everybody's taking their positions. I'm just thankful that everybody was able to get in position and follow these directions, so to speak. But nonetheless, we are off. We got Spec starting off with the crown in the bat to the blade here. And he's going to, Misty looking for an early cutoff there. iBox coming in with an AMR Pro, same car as Dundee from the previous game, an F50 in the patented Sesto FE, which, used to be a meme in terms of how OP that car is, and it's crazy how far the game's come along with the options that are viable for S2 nowadays. With the blade, the Brabham, and cars of that nature. So the Sesto FE, back in the day, if you could even say that, would have been the choice to go with. But nowadays, it seems like the blade does slightly better than the Sesto FE, as Misty takes the crown and runs with it right now. 20 seconds and counting official time for Misty. Ooh, nice little diversion there. F50 still on the chase though, and I must ask rather, when playing against the blades and stuff, was there, did you notice a big difference between you chasing, and a nice cutoff there from iBox right there, from chasing the blades in the Sesto? Did you feel at all underpowered in comparison or anything like that whenever you were chasing the blades, or did you feel like your car was up to snuff, so to speak?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, that car is, I'd say, miles ahead of the pack, if you will. But you really just want to rely on your IQ and your positioning and using the other players to your advantage, and that's what I was trying to do the most. Just use their positioning.
Absolutely, not very cases where you can outpower, outturn, or outhandle the blades. So IQ will definitely come into play. And ODK putting up the first few seconds of the game here. Once again, a veteran that's been playing ever since Horizon 2 here.
Yep.
Probably the longest running player in here apart from F50. Not quite sure when Misty started. He's definitely played all the games, but not sure if he played in the beginning. But nonetheless, we got Spec with the crown once again. Misty with a close one right there. Almost gets the cutoff or the tag right there. And Misty going for the cutoff again, but Spec smartly turns around right there. iBox is there to read it. Will he get the crown? And he does.
Ooh,
a great
does.
read from iBox right there. Very nicely done. And an AMR Pro, I mean, not a slouch either, but wow, look at the line that Misty was taking through there.
Yeah.
That was just a sure tag if you're Misty right there. A minute 30 official time for Misty and counting, and Spec falling closely behind with 55 seconds. He's going to look to try to neutralize Misty. I'm not sure if Spec got taken out just then, but I don't think so, as I see Misty right there. And a nice cutoff there from F50 using the Sesto's speed to his advantage, but not quite enough to get away from the blade, though. The handling is just too much when it comes to the blade compared to the Sesto right there.
Yeah.
And Spec and Misty, I mean, they must be aware of each other in this one. You know, as you know, being the you know, running the bar league and all, they are partners and teammates, and now they have to play each other. And you know, and arguably, you know, the two best cars in the game here, in the lobby here, so they are definitely aware of each other. One of those King Kong versus Godzilla type of games right here, where you know you can pretty much outhandle everybody else in the lobby except for that one other person.
Yeah. They're both each other's Achilles heel, if you will. But iBox trying to make a name for himself with the with at least a second or third place here, because the first place is running away with it.
First place right there. A minute 30 for Specto, not too far behind, but it does seem to be a two-horse race in this one, as Misty takes it around there. Ooh, Spec with a close one there. Goes for a cutoff, not quite there. And F50 trying to chase, but the gap that is being created from the blade is just so much right there. Oh, a nice cutoff attempt there from iBox, and couldn't quite get it to go. And Misty's just running around as much as possible, trying to divert the entire lobby there. Does a great job there. In any other car, he was probably caught right there, but what a line. He's able to utilize that. And that's the thing with Misty. He's able to, and you've said this yourself, you know, he's able to optimize every line, every ounce of performance from the car, just able to utilize everything there. But a very nice read there from F50 with the Sesto there. 15 seconds and counting. Not quite the start that you probably wanted here, but still definitely enough time as iBox comes in with a nice cutoff right there in the AMR Pro. Goes around the building.
No. I would say that iBox definitely was my surprise of the match, because paying more attention to the blades, and he would just come out of nowhere and even take it off of them occasionally as well.
Absolutely. He was the one person to Spec and Misty apart from each other, obviously, seeing as, you know, the two blades. So definitely great work here from iBox, trying to cards that he is dealt with, so to speak. But that's iBox going for the cutoff on the far end, along with that 50. But Spec, smart move there. Oh, double turnaround, goes the other way. Oh, but F50 with a nice read there. Great patience as F50 racks up 30 seconds. Yes, 30 seconds and counting for him in the Sesto. ODK goes a little bit wide there. Misty goes for the cutoff. Spec right behind him, and it will be Misty who gets the crown right there. And that's going to allow him to extend the lead here. 2.5 minutes remaining in the match right now. But Misty, he just seems to be running away with it. And if you're a Spec, I mean, it's kind of tough, because, you know, when you are the one Achilles heel to them, you can't really rely on the other players to do that work for you, because only you have the tools to do that, so to speak. You know, if we're talking about the cars right there.
Yeah, especially with a player like Musty. Whoever whoever's the biggest threat to his first place, I've said this before, that's the person who he's gonna try to cut the map in half between. Like, he's just gonna always be looking out for you and doing his best to avoid you. He doesn't mind getting it taken off the third or fourth place player, but if you're a threat to that first place, he's gonna stay away from you at all costs.
Absolutely, and seemingly he does seem to have eyes around the entire map. It seems, and that is a great way to neutralize the opponent, and that is exactly what he's good at. Trying to keep it away from the person who is the biggest threat. And Spec, though, doing a great job trying to work past that, but Misty coming in for a cutoff right here. Ooh, doesn't quite get it, and Spec still has time, I believe, to do it. But he does have to keep it for the rest of the game here. Tries to break check Misty, but Misty a little bit too smart for that. He's going to keep extending the lead onto Spec. But Spec not too far behind, 221 for deducting the minute. And mathematically speaking, that will be it in terms of the first place. But still anybody's game right there between the bottom four, so to speak. Spec, though, trying to get as much time on the board as possible as well. It is a recorded stat, if you will, the seconds you have in the game. So, definitely want very nicely done as well. F50 trying to get the last few seconds here. He needs it to get out of that fourth place spot right there. Ooh, doesn't quite get it to go. Just 8 seconds behind. That's all he needs to move up into the podium right there. Oh, unfortunate AFK there for Panda. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. You knew exactly what happened as you were the player in this game. So, with the corrections, we have Misty with 3 minutes 52 seconds, Spec with 3 minutes 14, iBox with 56 seconds, F50 with 48, and ODK with 8 seconds. And wow, that will be it for all the matches in round one. Well, what an event, would you say?
Yeah,
what an event.
Definitely. It definitely was.
A crazy round one. Now, I did want to talk about this a little bit, a little bit of a recap, so to speak, after we've seen all these matches here. I do want to give a match of the night and also a performance of the night, and with honorable mentions and stuff, if you want, because there was a lot here. It might be hard to pin down exactly one, but in your opinion, which match would you say was match of the night?
I'd say, I believe it was that S1 match where Misty was in his Mosler, we had Spec in the KTM GT4, Spotless was in there, Speed as well, Sid, and I think we rounded it off with ODK. Just a stacked lobby from start to finish, just from the names alone, and it lived up to it as well. That would be my favorite one.
And 100%, and I think I'm gonna have to agree with that one. A stacked lobby, great card choices for the most part, great players, a great match, I would even say. The stats do look like Spec did kind of run away with it at the end there, but nonetheless a great match. Overall, I would definitely give that one match of the night as well. Do we have any honorable mentions for match of the night?
I did like the S2 one where you and Sid were both in the Brabham as well. Just I like the pace of that one. Could have been closer, but we'll see what happens with S2 moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, if that was a closer game, I would probably put that up there as well. But unfortunately, it was a bit of a one horse race, or whatever the term is. But moving on, I suppose, performance of the night. Do you have a specific performance of the night? Now, personally, I'm torn between two right now. And that would be either Spec's performance in A class or actually your performance in A class, where you put 7 minutes 26 on the board. So I'm kind of torn between those two currently. But what are your thoughts on performance of the night?
Yeah, I say my match was close, but I'm gonna put that one second just because I was going against a newcomer, and I was going against someone I've been playing against for now 10 plus years. So I'd say Zbek had the tougher competition in his Sierra, in his Sierra round, and I'm gonna trademark it. PvP. He's my Panda's valuable player of this round, the youth of the UKC.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna lean towards Spec a little bit on that one as well. Not to mention in the next game that he played in S1, he did put 4 minutes on the board as well. Not quite as impressive at the 6 minutes, but that was against Misty, and to do something like that, is a feat in and of itself. So I say performance of the night goes to Spec on that one. Was there anything that stood out to you during the entire in any of the matches, or any upsets, or any surprises, or anything like that? Just what are your thoughts, basically?
If
We're just
if I want
spitballing
to give
here.
out a if I want to give another miscellaneous award, I'd say um I don't want to be pulling hairs, but most consistent underdog, if that even was an award, I would give that to Autocycle. I mean, he was there with the big
Oh
dogs,
yeah.
taking it off of Dundee whenever he needed to, taking it off of me whenever he needed to, getting in the way of the top players when the time was running down. So yeah, he was definitely another one to watch out for if you're rewatching this.
100%, 100%. A consistent player for sure. Actually, made it into podium in 2 of his 3 matches that he participated in. So definitely, definitely in the running for a finals winner. For the world championship here. Let's see what else. Plum Sauce, newcomer once again. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Didn't quite get any podiums, but that doesn't mean he's out of the running. Unfortunately, he is stuck in his car choices. But do you think he comes back out of the lower bracket? Do you think he makes it into the finals, or do you think he gets eliminated in the next round?
I'm gonna have to give this the harsh reality. I think this is where reality does set in for the newcomer of Plum, and he just realizes that the car choices are very, very vital in Professional King, and I think he's just a good car choice away from getting a good third place, maybe even highest as second, in the UKC round. So yeah, I think that's the only thing holding him back, and it may come to an unfortunate end next week, but it's nothing to hold your head down when you're going against the best players in the world.
Absolutely, great showing. But we're saying that as if he's already eliminated. We don't know what's gonna happen in the next week yet.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
who knows? He might come out the cuts and absolutely put on a performance, and wouldn't don't want to call it an upset, but make some waves, so to speak. And now in A class, though, we had Dundee and iBox and Stolen all taking DNFs, meaning they are actually going to also come out of the lower side bracket as well. Which, what do you think of that? Does that make lower bracket harder for people who came bottom 3, or do you think that the upper bracket is still more challenging, considering we have the likes of Dundee and iBox and Stolen who took a DNF in A class. So that's an automatic 0 seconds.
I think-
Yeah.
I think, and this is a good thing. I think it's more balanced than it is more one-sided for either winners or losers, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I think some players that are going to get upsetted are going to fall into losers sometimes, and that's going to balance things out naturally that way. And some players that are good aren't going to be able to make it to some rounds, and then it's going to naturally balance out that way. So I think it's always going to be pretty more even than one-sided.
It definitely would make it more even, but but it is kind of unfortunate for people who are looking to come up the lower bracket, so to speak, and then having to face Dundee in the lower bracket might be a bit daunting for them. But definitely more balanced for sure. And I did misspeak earlier. Plum Sauce did get a podium finish in his A-class match, actually, able to rack up second place. So let me not, let me not try to shoot him down so much here. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other standouts in the game that I'm trying to think of here. The only other thing I can think of is though in the standings of the S2 game, of the first S2 game, I was very far down the leaderboard, and I hate being that person. But because of the deductions and things like that, I just barely eke out the top 3 by 1 second. I just have to point that out there. Just it is so like slimy. Like I feel so slimy just squeezing in the top 3 by 1 second because of the deductions. But yeah, that unfortunately did happen. But nonetheless, I don't think we only had one DNF in S2, and that was stolen. So it'd be I think it'll be next week's matches are going to be just as exciting, if not more exciting than this week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is there anything else that you would like to add, Panda? I think that's probably about it from me.
Yeah, I'm pretty much good on my end here too. I'm really interested to see how people are going to adjust their tunes because they are sticking in the same cars. I might have a tiny little upper hand in the S1 because I have over 40 of the same cars, so I'll be
That's right.
definitely going through some of them for the next S1 rounds I have. But I'm interested to see how people are going to adjust their tunes. That's the biggest thing for me.
Absolutely. I know I'm definitely going to be spending time tuning my Brabham with, seeing as I'm facing the likes of Blades and whatnot.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for round 1 of UKC Season 1. Panda, thank you again for joining me here and also sticking through all these technical difficulties we had. I just want to give a big thank you there. As well as a shout out to Spotless. So just anybody that helped the UKC happen, just thank you, and all the players too. Thank you for showing up. Okay, like that is something. I don't know who quoted this, but 50% of success is showing up, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing here. Okay, the fact that you guys show up, that helps a lot. So I appreciate every single one of you guys for making UKC round 1 a success. Alright, but with that being said, I've been your host, Top Gear Tim, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.